Welcome to the ITI Online Academy Learning Module Simultaneous Contour Augmentation using GBR by Daniel Buser, Stephen Chen and Vivianne Chappuis. The single tooth replacement with an implant-supported crown is a frequent indication for implant therapy. In the anterior maxilla, not only does the prosthetic replacement need to re-establish function, it also needs to satisfy aesthetic expectations. To achieve optimal aesthetic outcomes, the implant prosthesis must mimic the adjacent natural teeth in color and shape. In addition, the peri-implant soft tissues on the facial aspect must appear similar to the gingivae of the adjacent teeth in volume, contour, color, and texture. When a tooth is extracted, healing in the early stages is characterized by healing of the soft tissue over the socket and bone regeneration within the socket. At the same time, resorption of the bone walls of the socket takes place, predominantly on the facial side. This results in loss of facial volume and contour of the ridge, and loss of facial soft tissue support. The effect of these changes may be seen in implants that have been placed without sufficient grafting on the facial aspect. In this clinical case of a maxillary left central incisor single-tooth implant prosthesis, the facial soft tissues appear to be thin and darker in color than that of the contralateral central incisor. The change in color and texture of the soft tissues surrounding the implant prosthesis has occurred because of the resorption of the alveolar bone from the facial aspect. This resorption has caused the concavity of the ridge in the critical cervical region of the prosthesis. This resorption and loss of facial contour of the alveolar ridge is clearly seen on the occlusal view of the implant. For an optimal functional and aesthetic outcome, it's therefore necessary to compensate for bone resorption by reconstructing the facial bone. Doing so creates support for the facial soft tissues and restores and maintains alveolar ridge contour. This module will describe the clinical technique of guided bone regeneration for simultaneous contour augmentation when dental implants are placed in aesthetic sites in the early stages of healing after tooth extraction. In other words, in Type 2, early placement with soft tissue healing, and Type 3 early placement with partial bone healing. Whilst GBR can be performed in conjunction with any implant placement protocol, it's particularly indicated in connection with early implant placement. More information on early implant placement, including its advantages, can be found in the ITI Online Academy Learning Module Timing of Implant Placement After Tooth Extraction. After completing this ITI Online Academy Learning Module, you should be able to explain the rationale for contour augmentation using guided bone regeneration or GBR. List the materials used for contour augmentation in aesthetic sites. Describe the surgical steps and considerations that precede simultaneous augmentation, and describe the treatment concept and surgical steps for simultaneous contour augmentation. ITI Online Academy Learning modules offer a wide variety of features to optimize your learning. Every module starts off with an introduction that is followed by the learning objectives, giving you an overview of the main topics and learning goals covered. Each of the learning objectives is discussed in an individual topic chapter that concludes with a list of its key learning points. The summary at the end of each module combines the major key learning points across all learning objectives for final repetition and focus. You are free to jump from item to item at any time using the module navigation. If you interrupt a viewing session, you can always resume it at a later time, at the exact point where you left off. The slides are enriched with interactive elements. You can expand literature references to get detailed information about the publication. In addition, you can look up definitions of specific terms, get further information about images, and enlarge images to scrutinize them in more detail. Every learning module is paired with a free assessment for continuing self-evaluation, allowing you to track your learning progress at any time. Take advantage of the Academy points earned in the free assessments to unlock learning modules free of charge. Unlock the complete learning module on academy.iti.org.